Welcome to the Duke Trap Studios, home of the Keystone experience. Brought to you by Creek Archery. Find your passion, then hunt it down. Hillview Motors, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Remember, Hillview has it. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, we got special guests with us this evening. Bryan Watson from Trapline Beard Oil Company. What's going on, brother?
Not much. How's it going out there?
Oh, building an ark, all the rain we're getting out here. It hasn't stopped raining in, 30 days and 30 nights. It's ridiculous.
We don't get much up here.
I got to get over to Deer Lease and mow, but I can't. We were over there the other day. It's like a freaking swamp, and I ain't about to take a tractor down through there and, cut anything. I haven't even got food plot started. So, yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's
so,
crazy.
let's, first off, everybody knows that, you make beard products, but there's also a new line of products that you've been carrying for about a year now, since the last time we did a podcast, probably.
Yeah. Well, we've got body wash and beard wash and bar soap. So, all that stuff's out there. That's all still made by me and all natural stuff. So,
And
so
the
far,
bar
people are
soap,
loving it.
the bar soap you have is hard soap and soft soap.
Yeah. Yep. It's hard soap, hard bar soap, as well as your regular body wash stuff.
Okay.
Whatever you like best. I don't like body wash myself. I just don't think it works as good as bar soap for me.
Yeah.
But everybody's a little different.
Yeah. I mean, I like bar soap myself. You got the deodorant too.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Deodorant, 100% natural,
Yep.
and last time I ordered non-scented stuff. And then I can never pronounce the name of it, that dust, DA, whatever it is, DAU.
Oh, Dauntless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ordered that, and I love it. And like I
Yeah.
told you before we started this, I got to get on there and order because I just ran out of soap and, squeaked that last little piece of soap about that big,
Yeah. Well, if
But
you
yeah,
remind me, I've got a bar. I got some sweet tobacco that I had made into bar soap, and it ended up being a little soft. I didn't want to sell it, so I've kind of given it to a few people. Everybody really likes it. It just didn't harden up and dry out the way I wanted it to. So I was like, I'm not going to sell it. I'm
yeah.
not happy with it. I'm not going to sell it. But
So
everybody loves it.
all your stuff is all natural. There's nothing to worry about. You can't
Yep.
be allergic to anything. I mean, and like I said, I've been using it for, I don't know, 2 years now. And I mean, the beard, you're going to notice a difference in your beard. A lot of people ask me, well, why do I need the balm if you're going to put oil in your beard? The oil actually isn't for your beard,
Right.
you know?
No, that's just for the skin underneath, and it does help. It helps the beard follicles, things like that, as well as the skin. So
And you're going to notice a difference. Your skin, you're not going to, I have a lot of people say to me, oh, I let my beard start growing and it's itchy. And well, that oil helps with that
yeah,
itchiness.
yeah, it takes it right away.
I mean, once you hit our point, there's no itchiness no more.
No, no, it's been gone for a long time.
Yeah, we can, every once in a while you'll find a surprise in there, a potato chip or something from, whenever you were eating earlier or whatever. But
Or a tick.
yeah,
I had posted about that not long ago. I came back from our wildlife club and had a tick crawling around in there.
yeah, turkey season, I stopped at Sheets to grab something, a coffee or something around 1 o'clock. It was freaking raining and run into a buddy of mine in there. And he says to me, he said, hold still. He said, there's something crawling through your beard. He pulled a tick out of mine. He's like, you didn't feel that? I was like, dude, no.
No, I didn't even know until I saw it in the mirror when I got in my truck. I looked in the mirror and seen it.
So you got a bunch of different scents. You
Yep.
got the oil. Okay, we got that. That's for your skin, helps with the follicles.
Yep.
The balm is for
Keeping it in control, basically. Um, you know, if anybody else like us, it just goes.
Yep.
If you don't wax it
Yep.
down with balm. And balm's got that mixture of wax and butters and stuff in it, so it actually it conditions it really well as keeps it under control. So
And you have a beard wash,
yeah,
but you don't
yep, all
have you
natural.
don't we don't use a conditioner because the
Yep.
conditioner is basically in the
Yeah, I
balm.
mean the oils that are in the washes that I make are more than perfect for your beard. Because I know I noticed it when I first started using it. When I made it, and it was just my beard felt so soft coming out of the shower.
Yeah.
And that was when I really first realized it. I was like, all right, this is something. It's something I really like, and I'm going to put out there. So,
Hmm.
and I won't put
Yeah.
anything out there I don't use or like. So,
And I mean, I know I got a ton of buddies out here that all use it and love it. You know, you sent me that sample stuff not
yeah,
too long ago. That scent we were working on,
yep,
and I gave some to Jr. I
yeah,
gave some to Alex,
mm,
and both of them, they're, oh man, this is great. Then I had the dirt on at the trapping convention,
yeah,
and them guys said to me, they're like, "Are those your hunting clothes out of the bin?" It's like, all we smell is dirt. I'm like, no, man, it's that back 40 stuff. They're like, dude, we need some of that. I'm like,
yeah,
I'll give you a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I made that just because I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, I'm going to try this out because I seen that I go through a scroll through scents and try to find something, and I'll mix my own sometimes. I'll buy different ones, but I saw that one and I was like, dirt. That's interesting. I got to try it. And I didn't want to just call
Yep.
it dirt. I thought back 40 would
Yeah.
sound a little bit better, but it does. It smells just like you've been tilling up the
Yep.
garden or something.
Yep. I love it because come
Yeah,
bow season, I'm going to use that and the acorn stuff
yeah,
and the buck snort. And I'm
yeah.
telling you, the deer ain't going to know what's going on because
No,
I
and bring them
tested
right
that.
to bring them right to your blind.
Yep. I tested that buck snort for you for
Yeah,
before you put it out, and deer.
yeah,
I mean, I had deer directly underneath the tree stand. Had no
yeah,
idea, you know.
yeah,
So it don't bother. It don't bother the critters. You use the right scent the right time of year.
yeah.
We might have to come out with a doe estrus one you put in your beard and see what that does.
That's easy enough to do. I'm not sure what it would smell like.
I don't think the wife will let me in the house.
Yeah. Well,
But
Paul Ansick from Mountain Men, he wanted me to make a coyote gland. I'm like, I'm not sure I want to make a coyote gland.
yeah, man, that you know what else? Skunk. I remember
Yeah,
using skunk as a cover scent back when I first started bow hunting.
yeah.
I don't know if I can handle that right underneath my nose. That would
No,
really be brutal.
yeah, that it would. Hmm.
And we both trap. You do a
Yeah,
lot of trapping. You got. I mean, you're still trapping right now, aren't you?
yeah. I'm mainly trapping nuisance stuff for people right now. I started a business up here in town in Minot, and I do a lot of squirrels and raccoons and skunks and gophers, that kind of stuff right now. Raccoons that are getting under houses and stuff. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm still out doing that.
I got a big one that keeps visiting my house here every evening. He comes to the back door and he like kind of taps on the back door, and the cat, my daughter's cat, will go over and she'll stand at the door and them too. I don't know if he thinks she's another raccoon or what, but they stand there and paw the door and everything else. And I said, well, trapping season comes around. You ain't
Yeah,
gonna be knocking on this door too long, there, buddy.
yeah. We don't ever have a close season for them, and this one has been nesting underneath a older lady's house, so I needed to get rid of it. So
Well, you were trapping muskrats not too long ago.
yeah, we end up our season ends in like May 10th. So, but that's some of my favorite beaver and muskrat. That's just my favorite stuff to get after.
How'd you do? You
Not great. I mean, I got enough for what I wanted. Because I'm having a hat made. I'm looking forward to that. Out of beaver and muskrat combined.
okay?
Having a trapper hat made. I'm looking forward to that. But I mean, muskrats ain't selling for nothing. They're just fun to catch. So
Right, right.
easy to skin and put up. And so I love going
Yeah,
after those.
the little creek right here in town by my house. I had seen a few mink back in deer season, so I put a few mink traps out and ended up catching like 4 or 5 muskrats. Never did catch the mink,
Yeah.
but those those muskrats, I took them to the fur post up the road here, and the guy gave me, I think,
Yeah.
$1.25 for them or something like that.
Yeah.
It is what it
They're not
is, you
worth
know.
anything. They're not worth
I don't I,
anything, but
I don't trap to make money. I trap because I've
no.
been doing it for so long. I just can't
No.
stop, you know.
Right. Yeah. If you're in it for the money, you're probably not making anything. So,
No, no, you know, and most of us all started when we were young kids, you know.
yeah.
Started with uh, either coil springs or single spring jump traps,
Yeah.
catching raccoons and possums, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. This raccoon I took last night, man, she wanted it. I have hammer time, wild man hammer time um, bait, and I had two dog proofs out, and they were probably I probably only had them like 2 foot apart because I wanted to see if there was more than one raccoon, and she had feet in both of them, so she got caught, and she's like, I still got to eat, so she was digging in the other one.
greedy,
Yeah, so
greedy.
that's a pretty good bait.
I tell people that all the time. You want to get into trapping? Get yourself some dog proofs
Yeah,
and start out catching raccoons.
yeah,
'Cause, you know, coyotes and foxes can frustrate you,
oh yeah,
especially for a first time trapper.
yeah,
It's always set on sign.
yeah,
You know, and a lot of people don't pay attention to that kind of stuff. So a new trapper, like I'll gladly go with any new trapper that wants to go out. I mean, I
mm-hmm.
got nothing to hide. I've been doing it for so long. I'll show you everything I know. You
Yeah,
know, are you going to catch a million animals? Probably not,
yeah,
because I'm one of those guys who is not all about scent control. You
yeah.
know,
I don't either.
I use my apparition scent. I spray down with that when I'm going to set traps, but I use the same knee pads, you know, the same boots I go to work in.
Yeah,
I mean, I look at it this way: Alan Probes and a bunch of the other TV trapping guys. You see Alan spitting Copenhagen right there where he's making a
yeah.
coyote trap. So,
Well, these coyote and fox and stuff, they're running around where people are at, so
yep,
that smell doesn't matter to them.
yep. And I had somebody say something to me the other day. Like I posted a picture on Facebook where I put Dawn dishwashing soap in a big bucket and threw 2 dozen of new traps in there, and they just been sitting in that bucket for a week and a half now. And the guy's like, "Well, you gonna dye those when you're done?" Nope. I said,
Mm,
"I put them right in the ground, all rusty the way they are." I said, "I don't dye them." I said, "For what?" "Well, they smell. They smell like
mm,
rust." I said, "Well, what's around the farm? Rusty old
yeah,
farm equipment, right? So that
yeah,
odor's there, you know."
yeah. They don't care.
I don't put them in Ziploc baggies. A bunch of guys I know put them in Ziploc baggies, and you're making this more complicated than it needs to be.
Yeah, I've got some totes that I keep mine in, and like I got like leaves and sticks and stuff in there, so
Yeah,
I just chuck them in there and pull them out when
yeah,
I'm ready for them.
yep.
They're scented enough that way.
I mean, I use gloves. I don't touch them with my bare hands,
Yeah, I don't either.
But yeah, some people they just overthink this trapping stuff, and we don't need to be overthinking it. They're an animal.
Yeah.
They're you know
Nope.
they're not all that intelligent.
They make
But
you feel that way sometimes, though.
oh man, the wild turkeys. Oh my God, the wild turkeys this year. Holy cow!
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot.
I got a nice bird, but we get a second tag too. And man, for the last 3 weeks of the season, I battled with a couple longbeards that just made me look like a fool. And I've been hunting these things since I was 14 years old.
Yeah,
I'd get them going, and they'd shut up.
yeah,
And then, being impatient, I'm hunting with a 410 or I'm hunting
yeah,
with my bow. So I'd pack all my stuff up and figure, well, I'll go 50 yards this way, set back up and start calling. start calling, they gobble right where I was just at. Like, uh, you
Hmm.
know. So impatience basically just got the better of me this year, and dealing with some longbeards that are pretty old on that deer lease,
Yeah.
pretty smart. So, and so you're out there, you get to hunt whitetails, mule deer.
With a bow you can.
O-
For gun, you got to put in for a permit for a drawing.
Okay,
I did it my first year I lived up here. Got a buck tag right where I wanted it, but my grandchild was being born in Puerto Rico, so I picked that. I gave back the tag and went down to Puerto Rico for that time. So,
right.
so
So
I don't.
as a resident, you got to put in to get a permit.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a drawing up here.
So what do you
And
have there? Mule deer, whitetails,
yeah, both.
elk.
Yep, we got
You got
elk, we got moose, we got whitetail, we got muleys, we got rams, we got some antelope. So
now.
we got
You got
about
to put
everything.
in. You got to put in for all that too as a permit.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You would think as a resident you could get that on like a general hunting license.
You would think, but you can't.
Because like here we get one buck tag. You get a spring turkey tag, a fall turkey tag,
Hmm.
and you can hunt small game on that license. Then you got to buy your trapping permit. You got to buy a bear license. You got to buy all your doe tags if you want doe tags, your antlerless tags. You got to put in. In fact, I just did this morning. I put in for the elk drawing.
Yeah.
Been doing that for 20 some years and still ain't got drawed in my own state.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then they're talking about giving you a second buck tag a couple years ago. Pay an extra $20 or whatever to get an extra buck tag. I I don't know. I don't see the point in killing more bucks. You know, I
No.
think we should up the antlerless
Yeah.
doe tags. We need to get rid of a bunch of them. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we got what 6, 7 guys on our deer lease, and we're in an area where you're allowed to buy 6 antlerless tags. Last year, I bought 4 for that area and 2 for 2 different areas, and I filled all 4 on my deer lease plus my buck tag. And the other guy that's there, he 3 plus his buck tag, and a couple of the other guys just killed does. And you would not believe the camera pictures that like I get all year round of does.
Yeah.
Put a drive on, you're putting 60 or 70 does off of one hillside. And I said, guys, it's time. We gotta just this year everybody buy 6 of them, shoot them. We'll find people to take the deer meat. You
Oh
know.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, those. I think the doe tastes better anyway. Most of them are younger. You're taking, and
Yeah. Yep.
it's a much better eating meat, I think. But
Yep. I kind of try to pay attention to the does through the pictures.
yeah,
That way I keep an eye on which ones are putting out twins, which ones have put out twins in the past, and now they're only doing, you know, 1 or 2 because I don't want to put all my minerals and stuff out and I'm not getting nothing in return. You know,
right.
everybody's like, "Oh, that's kind of cruel. You feed all the other ones." Well, guess what? That's the way it works. I'm
Yeah,
in this to make the bucks big. I ain't in this to make the does big.
yeah,
So, but yeah, we got another like a giveaway thing going on right now with the Becknell bunch. I don't know if that's what the numbers are. I didn't look at them today.
yeah. I think I'm at like 1900, so I got 100 more on mine. I don't know what he's got going right now,
Yeah.
but it's for a good cause. So I thought I'll just give him one. I'll buy a hat and donate to
Yep.
it, and get some
Yep.
people to get some Bicknell Bunch hats.
That's what when I seen you doing it and the Sippy boys doing it, I
Yeah,
figured, you know what, might as well jump in on this. And I got
yeah.
enough hats. I don't need another hat.
I've got mine up there. They're kind
Yep.
of starting to circle around this side of the room too.
Yeah. But yeah, we the beard oil stuff is going, at least from what I see, it seems like there's a lot
Yeah,
of guys out there that are digging it
it's
and
getting there.
using it.
I mean, I had a 5 year plan when I started. We're year two, so I'm kind of about on track. I'd like to be a little higher, but I don't do it because I need the money. Jeez, I do it because I enjoy doing it, knocking stuff over under my desk. Um, I just enjoy doing it. It's something I have fun with, and it allows me to donate. And gets me to donate for different organizations. And that's just part of why I do it. It's an easy way for me to be able to give back to hunting groups or whatever they happen to be.
Yeah, what was you doing before? A
I still
dollar or
do it.
something?
It goes to there's a few groups. There's Kentucky Wounded Heroes. There's a place up here called Prairie Grit. I'm trying to remember the name of Michael Seaver's place. It's on my website. I can't remember right now. That's another one I do. I do that with this business, and then with my nuisance control business up here, I give away meat bundles from our local meat market.
Okay.
And when I get some decent customers, that are getting me to come trap something for them, and I get a paycheck, and then I'll donate to that city. I just picked up a school to take care of gophers at, and so as soon as I get paid from that job, I'm going to donate from. We got a meat market up here, and they do these bundles of a box of meat. It's ribs, roast, steak, stuff like that, all packaged there, frozen, and I just usually have them pick somebody for me, and so I'm having the school pick this one as soon as they pay me. I'm gonna go and have a bundle made for some family that's needed up in that town. So
Right.
it just gives me a way to give back
Yeah.
to the communities.
Yeah, we need more groups like that. I mean, like we try to associate, like me and
Yeah,
you with our
yeah,
group or our pages and our business and,
yeah,
hooked up with Jay from the Becknell
yeah,
bunch and a bunch of good people, mostly everybody we deal with we're all
yeah,
like family now.
yeah. That's how I feel about the beard stuff. I feel like everybody's my family that buys from me.
Yeah. Yep. And I
They're
mean, that's
trusting
how
me
me
with.
and you become friends is through
Yeah,
that. And,
yeah.
you know,
One of these days, I got to get down, do some running around down there in Pennsylvania, and run into everybody.
yeah, you got to come down here.
It's like
What
one of my biggest customer states is Pennsylvania.
I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, our rendezvous this weekend.
Yeah, you guys got your rendezvous coming up.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, what's today? Thursday, Wednesday.
Yeah, today's Wednesday, so is it this weekend?
Yeah, it
I've been
starts
seeing some
tomorrow.
posts about it, but I
Starts
don't pay it too
tomorrow.
much. Is it starts
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Yep. I think AJ's going to be there.
Yeah, I think
His
so.
brother. I've never. I don't know if Paul's ever been there or not.
That's kind of a haul for them.
Brian. Brian will be there. Flowers.
Yeah.
He'll
Um,
be there.
I talked to him the other day, and I'm trying to remember if he said he was going to make it to the state this year. I can't remember if he said he was going to make it or not make it there.
Okay.
He said he'd been so swamped trying to keep up with everything. So
Oh, I'm sure because he don't. Like his fur life is not the only
yeah,
business that he got. He's like the rest of us. We all got to
yep,
work. You know.
yeah.
Because this stuff don't make the living. You
No,
know, I wish it did.
yeah, yeah. It'd be great if I could just make beard oil for a living and trap
Yeah.
animals. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm getting closer, but not quite.
Yeah. I'd like to sit down and bullshit about hunting and fishing all day long and get paid to do this, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay the bills.
I'm
It's
hoping with
fun.
my nuisance business, I'm hoping that picks up enough to where it can take a big chunk out of what I need. So, and my problem is I give everybody deals. I
Yeah.
deal with a lot of elderly people, and I'm like, I got to cut them a deal.
Yeah.
So that I'm getting rid of critters for them for hardly anything. Hard to make a living that way.
I know. What was it? JR sent me pictures the other day of a nuisance job that he was doing, and he got, what was it? He put five live traps out and got five coon. No, actually, I think it was six coons because I think he had two in one live trap. I think, if I
Yeah.
remember right. But yeah, he's constantly like all day long. He'll be sending me Snapchats and stuff
Yeah.
with all the, he's out playing with some new gun, shooting pigeons and stuff. I'm like, dude,
Yep.
this.
Yeah, I get a job like that here in my town, but I don't get as much work as he does in it. But I go up about 10 o'clock at night at our grocery store that they need me to, and shoot pigeons out when the cars ain't going by with my pellet gun. It's a
It's
blast.
crazy. It's crazy how many nuisance trappers we got around here
Yeah.
in PA. Like everywhere you go, you see somebody with wildlife control,
Yep.
sticker on their vehicle.
Yep.
And people always ask me, "How come you never got into it?" Well,
A
there's
lot of
just too many.
competition.
Yeah, there's just too many guys, and 99% of the guys doing it, I know. So,
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight with people or cutthroats to make a
Yeah.
dollar. You know.
Yeah. See, I don't have much going on here in this town. There's nobody up here doing what I'm doing. There's some pest control companies, and I kind of work with one of them. They give me the stuff that they don't like to do, and he does the bugs and all that stuff. So, I'm the only one they call me for this stuff, and I normally don't want to do it, but I'm like, yep, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I gotta go deal with some snakes tomorrow. I hate snakes, but nobody else will help her out. So guess who's going to round up snakes?
Rattlesnakes or
No,
okay.
just like ribbon snakes, garter snake stuff. I think. Find out when I get there. We do have some rattlesnakes up here, not a lot, but we do have them. But I still don't like dealing with them. It's not what I'm
Yeah.
into. But she needed somebody to do it, so I'm doing it.
Yeah, that starts this weekend here in PA too. Is our rattlesnake season, I believe. I got to look at my book and see. But yeah, we have fun there because there's a big rattlesnake roundup that goes on up in Cinnamahoney, and it
Oh,
starts
really?
this weekend. Yeah, yeah, them guys will be up there. It's a horrible weekend too because it's supposed to start raining tomorrow and like rain all friggin' weekend. So good luck for them guys trying to
Yeah,
catch snakes in this crap.
yeah.
I'll wait till July when it's bone dry and we're in the middle of a drought, and then I'll go look for snakes.
I don't like them. I lived in Alabama. I'd kill every single one I see, and I don't care what they were. Every one of them would be dead.
Yeah, Alabama got some crazy snakes down there.
Yeah,
Them cottonmouths, and
yeah,
I remember
yep,
I'm trying to think, Louisiana. I was down there with them guys, and we went duck hunting. And their blinds are built in the water.
yeah.
We get in there, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and the one guy said, "Did you feel that?" I said, "Feel what?" He said, "You feel that go across your feet?" No. He said, "It's about a 4 foot alligator just crawled out of the blind." I was like, "That's it." I said, "I ain't getting back in this blind till it's daylight." I went and sat in the boat. I was like, "What about the water moccasins?" Ah, they'll just leave when you get in here.
Yeah,
No, no,
yep.
no. This PA boy don't got to put up with those. We see some rattlesnakes every now and then when we go looking for them, some copperheads. I ain't going after no cottonmouths, you know?
I'm really surprised we have them up here. I didn't think we'd have rattlesnakes up here, but we do. See them everywhere.
Huh. Yeah, and what are they? Timber rattlers or are they just
I think they're a western.
okay?
Yeah,
Yeah, so they're pretty big.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
like
haven't
them
come
ones.
across any, luckily, but if so, it's dead. Hmm.
So what else you got going on?
That's about it. Catching animals and making beard stuff. Got a new barber shop selling in Fargo, North Dakota soon. I just shipped them a bunch of stuff. Um, only in like 3 or 4 barber shops, I think, now around the country. I'd like to get more, but I haven't had the time to make calls and try to get people to start buying.
Well, if
But
anybody out there who's listening owns a barber shop, get a hold of this man. You want to sell these products because they will sell.
yeah, you make as much on them as I do. Actually, they make more.
See, I mean, look, he's even like basically giving you the stuff to work with. So
Yeah, pretty much almost free money.
Yeah, we're gonna keep trying to come up with a Keystone experience scent. We'll
We'll
get
have it.
something together.
We'll get it figured out by fall.
We'll get something.
I'm gonna do some more digging because I know what you're looking for.
We're gonna
I
get.
just want to find it just right.
Yeah, what you
Oh,
sent me, man, was pretty. I liked it, and
yeah,
Alex and them guys liked it.
yeah,
But there's just a little tweak we got to do to it, and
we'll get it.
it'll happen.
Yeah, gotta mix
And
them.
then once they get it, once we get it figured out, it'll be exclusive to the Trapline Beard Oil Company. You will have to buy it through them, and you know
Yep, be
we
part of the
started this
Keystone.
as a friendship, and I told you I don't want to make a dime on it. I just want
Yeah,
it to sell for you.
yeah. You
Just
know
like the
how I
lady
am.
who's doing my hats. She said to me, these new leather patch hats. She's like, well, you got to make something on these hats. Look, you're making the patch.
Yeah,
You're putting them on the hat. You're shipping them. I don't want a dime. Well, it's your logo.
yeah,
People are
yeah,
wearing my hat. That's all that matters to me.
yep,
As long as they got this hat on, they're advertising for me.
yeah.
So,
That's how I feel about mine. I mean, I might make $1 on a hat, maybe
yeah.
two at the most, but probably about $1.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, the
Just
Hat
because,
Shack. Those people, I mean, the day I met them up at Chico Outdoors, they come over to the booth and handed me like 4 hats. They're like, here, we made these for you. And I was like, okay, how much do I owe you? Oh, nothing. Nothing. Wear them and see if you like them and then talk to us after the show.
yeah,
And she set up a whole little store, the whole 9 yards. I don't got to do a thing.
yep,
Go to them, get your hats, and, you know,
yep.
that's the way I want it. I hate keeping inventory
Yeah,
and all
it's
that
tough on a
stuff.
business.
Yeah. I did the t-shirts the first couple years when we started buying 500 t-shirts because you got to have smalls,
Yep,
large,
yeah,
you know. And then at the end of the year you're stuck with larges and smalls because nobody bought them.
yep,
So what do you do with them? I I, I use a bunch of them to clean my Harley now and then.
yep. I will have a new shirt coming out.
Uh-oh.
Um, yeah, I'm waiting to see mine. I've had a special logo, special thing made for the back of it, a design. Um, it's pretty cool. I'll text it to you after we get off the phone.
I
Um,
I think I got one of the original shirts on.
it's possible. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But as soon as I get off the phone, I'll send you what it's gonna look like. Um,
Okay.
but I want to make sure it turns out the way I want it to. My daughter's husband's brother is a graphic designer guy. I told him
Okay.
what I wanted, kind of showed him a picture of what I wanted, and said, make it my logo guy like this. So it's going to be pretty cool. If you
Do
remember
you?
my one from last year, my limited edition I put out,
Yeah.
it goes along with that.
Okay.
So it's going to be pretty cool.
You know what? I got to get a hold of her too. The tight chains. I can't. Why can't I
Oh,
remember her name?
Lydia,
Yeah. Yeah.
Lydia.
I got to get a hold of her.
Yeah.
I, I need to order a couple more shirts off of her.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna go to the trapping rendezvous this weekend. Go hang out with Bill, see AJ, and all them, and the big
Yeah.
once a year deal here. You going to the nationals or anything this year?
I'm going to FTA in
Are
Iowa.
you? Okay.
Yeah, it's like the weekend after nationals, but it was over in Virginia. And I'm like, from North Dakota, that's such a haul. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not going. That's too far. If I was a rich man, I'd fly down there, but I ain't. So
Well, you know what I got to do? I got to come out there. They don't charge us for a coyote permit, do they?
I don't know what you have. I don't know what your out of state license is, but
We'll have to get out
never
there and
closes. You catch them
do
anytime you
some
want.
nighttime coyote shooting.
Yeah,
Like right now, hopefully some guys got some hayfield cut because right now is a fun time of year to be out there coyote hunting. And a
yeah,
lot of guys don't hunt this time of year.
Yeah.
You know, right now you got the mothers coming out of the dens looking for food for them young ones, you know. And I know I'm going to piss a lot of people off when I say this. You shoot mom, them pups don't run away.
Yeah.
So you shoot all the pups because
Yeah.
all the pups do is grow up to be mom,
Yeah.
you know, and get rid of all of them. You know, you're
Yep. There's
never
too
going to
many of
take
them.
enough to hurt the population. You know,
Well, I did. I was up working on a rat job. Guy's got rats getting in his place. Found out that the day I was there, a mountain lion was seen in town, and we're kind of when Brian Flowers comes out this year, we're going to shoot an episode of Fur Life TV, and he wants to get after a mountain lion, and he probably won't stay in that area, but they're seeing it in that one. So there's a few areas I want to get after him and see if we can trap him.
yeah,
Should be
you can
fun.
trap mountain lions.
Probably have to turn them loose, but trapping them. We can kill 8 mountain lions in the state each year,
Okay.
and then total for everybody. And I think last year it was only like 7 taken total in the state. So I'd like to get after one.
Now, do you got to get a permit?
No,
No. Okay.
nope, it's all part of our regular hunting up here. There's a lot of animals up here that you hunt on your regular license. There's nothing special. The only thing is the big game that you have to worry about. Everything else is fair game,
No,
which is pretty nice.
I guess to get a ram tag, you have to put in for a drawing, and it probably take you forever. Because
Yeah,
what they're bighorns, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yep,
That's something I would like to get into later on in life.
yeah,
Yeah, probably should have done it when I was younger. Try to
yeah.
go after all the sheep species, but you know, I know next year I'm going to start my turkey deal so I can get my grand slam.
Yeah,
I get,
that'd be
I got a
cool.
trip. I got a trip booked for Florida. I found a dude that was reasonable. He wasn't completely ridiculous like a couple of the other ones I talked. Some of the other guys I talked to, $3,500 to go kill a turkey.
In Turkey,
Are, are you kidding me? I'll go to Walmart and buy one.
no doubt.
You know, and
Thirty-five
then
hundred bucks.
yeah, and the guy's like, oh well, that's I got to pay a farmer a trespassing fee. Well, that's not my problem.
Yeah,
It's called lease the property off of him.
yeah,
He'd make a lot more money if you leased it to him.
right.
You know, but I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to go to Texas because that's where our shop is, our main shop for the company I work for,
Yeah,
and they got property down there. They told me I could turkey hunt on, so
Hmm, that'd be fun.
go down there and kill a couple birds next year and see what happens.
Yeah,
And the licenses aren't completely out of hand.
Hmm,
They're actually pretty reasonable.
yeah,
So, but
that's
yeah,
cool.
I'll have to get out there with you one time, and we'll.
Yeah, come shoot some pheasants or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's right. You got tons of pheasants out there.
Yeah, we got bazillion pheasants, and we've had 2 easy winters, so there's a ton of pheasants around.
Yeah,
We didn't have
you
much of a kill off the last 2 years, so
actually got like wild pheasants, not
yep,
like the stock birds we have around here.
right. They're wild. They're regular ringnecks. They're just everywhere.
What you got? Any other game birds?
Yeah, we got some types of grouse. You can't shoot too many grouse because we don't have regular like ruffle grouse. There's a few. There's like prairie chicken type things here and there.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of duck, but you know, um, that's about it, really. I think got the good jackrabbits to hunt. You can hunt them all year round. You don't even have residents don't even need a license to hunt jackrabbits. So
Wow.
I hear they're not good
They
to eat.
any? I was gonna say they any good to eat?
Yeah, I don't think so.
They probably eat sage, huh?
Yeah, yeah, they're huge. I mean, the one I shot one because I wanted to see what it was, how it looked up close. It was about 24 inches nose to butt and weighed just over 10 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah,
Holy hell. That's huge.
yeah. Well, they had been selling them to some guys in South Dakota. I think you got like $8 a rabbit on the carcass. Just throw them in the freezer, and they use them to make jackalopes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know if you can still do that, but and there's no closed season on them. There's no closed
Yeah.
season on any rabbit here, so you
Okay.
hunt cottontails and jackrabbits all seasons, all year long.
So you can hunt your fox or your coyotes all year. Are you allowed to
Yep,
hunt foxes
yep,
all year too?
yep. Beavers all year. You can trap beaver all year. Raccoon you can trap all year. Hunt you can shoot them, hunt them, whatever you want to do all year. Squirrel's got a season. Um, Muskrat has a season, which we haven't been able to figure out why.
Yeah.
I mean, if beaver's open all the time, why is muskrat not open all the time? But
How about otter? You got otter up there?
yeah, there's a season, and I think you can only take 35 for the whole state because we don't have a ton, so
Okay.
they don't want them to get out of control there. So,
Yeah, we got a season here, and you got to get a permit. And in my area, on the river, there's a ton of them, but we don't have the permits this side of the state yet.
ah,
You know, so
yeah,
we just got bobcat permits 3 4 years ago. And I've bought one because I want to shoot one at night when I'm coyote hunting.
yeah,
I've called in last year. I think I called in six, and every time they come in, they take forever to come in. For one, they'll come in and they sit down and they look straight at you.
yeah,
Well, I'm using a 22 250 with ballistic tips. I shoot him. All I'm going to do is blow his back out, and
yeah,
he's not going to be. I'm not going to be able to mount him. You
yeah,
know, and I do my own taxidermy work, and I hate sewing. So
yeah,
somebody's like, "Oh, I'll get a lead bullet and just punch a hole through him." No, that's not the
yeah,
way it's going to work. It'll hit him and hit his spinal cord and just blow a big hole in him. So
yep.
I've let him go. I'll wait. Eventually, I'll get one that'll cooperate and sit down.
Yeah.
And
It's
do
one
what
thing
I
we don't
want to
have
do.
much of is bobcat up here. Like
Well,
in the
hell,
northeast towards Minnesota, you can get into some. Maybe down in the Badlands in the southwest part of the state, you can get into a little, but we just don't have a lot of bobcat. It's just not the right territory and terrain for them.
yeah. And you got the bigger cats up there, anyhow.
Yeah, we got mountain lions, so
Yes.
starting to see some wolves come in, even though we don't have a season on them, but they're coming in from Canada and coming in from Minnesota and some Montana. So they're not native around here and they don't stick around, but they come in once in a while, I guess. I've been seeing more. They've been seeing more. I was just reading an article on it the other day.
They're not getting to the cattle.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Nobody's complained. I haven't seen any complaints.
The-
Well,
I
if they are getting to the cattle, that's probably being taken care of by themselves.
oh,
So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got no problem with reintroduction to stuff like that. I wish PA would reintroduce the red wolf and stuff like that we used to have. Reading some books from way back when, like, they're going to reintroduce the pine marten back
yeah,
in PA because it's gone.
yeah,
Everybody was up in arms and having a heart attack about it. I'm sorry. If the animal was here before we came,
yeah,
I believe it should still be here.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's a pine
we
marten.
screwed it up. We couldn't, we didn't control it. We didn't take care of the numbers the way we should have. So we lost it. So let's help it to come back. You know, it's
Yeah,
actually the what they call it, the American. I think it's the American Martin is what they call it.
yeah,
But anyhow, we did a podcast with the guy Tom, our wildlife biologist here, and he was giving us the numbers and stuff. And believe it or not, they really don't kill turkeys like people think they do. They
all
don't
right.
kill a whole lot of birds. They eat mice,
Yeah,
small weasels. You know, we got the fisher here. That thing I've seen them kill fawns.
yeah,
Nobody had a heart attack when they wanted to release them again.
yeah.
And I don't know if you ever been out at night and heard a fisher killing a fawn before, but it's
No,
pretty freaking gruesome. You
I
know,
bet.
and but yeah, I feel that you know as long as we bring the animal back and control it,
Yeah.
I think it should be back, and we should be allowed to hunt it or trap it, whatever, to control the numbers and not let them get out of hand, you know?
Well, what do you think about them trying to bring back the dire wolf? You seen stuff about that?
Yeah, I seen stuff about that. Uh,
Them things are
that
like the size of a small horse.
yeah, that could be a mistake, you know.
I think that would be.
Look at New Jersey with the bear population in New Jersey. I mean, the bears are walking down the middle of the street in the middle of the day
Yeah.
because they don't allow you to hunt them.
Yeah.
Well, what are you doing for that bear?
Right.
You're doing nothing. You're
Mhm.
slowly killing that bear is what you're doing because he's going to starve because there's not enough food. He's getting into the garbage. Eventually, somebody's going to have enough of that bear getting in their garbage. They're either going to shoot it in the guts or something to let it run off and die.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know these liberal states and stuff like that want to hug all the animals and make things better. Just it's not the way it works.
Yeah.
You know, let's
Yep.
control them the way they were meant to be controlled. Don't over hunt them. Don't over trap them. Get a working population where everybody's happy and the animals are healthy. To me, that's what this sport's all about. You
Yeah.
know,
Got to
like
manage it.
I said earlier, we got so many friggin' does on my deer lease over there that you know, it's our fault. We weren't killing enough. We weren't killing, and it's the truth. We weren't. They move
Right.
in from other areas because they know, hey, look, all this food I got here. Well, now we're paying the consequences for it.
Yeah.
You know, overrun with does. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all for bringing critters back that used to be here and letting us hunt them and what have you. Now you don't need to be bringing crazy stuff back like the dire wolf or you know uh, what is it, that ice bear or whatever they were talking about, the one that's like a polar bear grizzly
Yeah.
bear mix. No, we don't need that thing because it just eats everything.
I
You
mean,
know,
we've seen the movies, right?
yeah, yeah.
They don't turn out. They don't turn out right.
uh-uh. I forget who it was. One of my buddies called me and he's like, "Dude, did you see this? They're breeding grizzly bears and polar bears." I'm like, "They're doing what?" I said, "That's insane." I said, "They're just killing. They're creating a killing machine.
Yeah.
Polar bears hunt humans to begin with,
Yeah.
you know, and now you're going to mix it with a grizzly bear. Two bears that got a bad attitude. You're going to mix them together. That's not a good combination."
Yep.
So, what else is going on out there? What do you got coming up to hunt or anything or nothing for now?
Nothing. Just still chasing little critters around for people. Got some new hair slicking stuff. Pomade from back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm actually making some stuff for AJ, and he's trying my new one out. I made for him. So,
Okay.
and actually, we're gonna have some of his labels made for it when we're ready, and we'll
There you
probably
go.
have him sign them and stuff, and we'll sell them, and it'll be
Cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Cause he likes to
Yeah.
slick his hair back with it, my balm, but we wanted to make it just a little different for him. So we'll see how it turned out. I don't use it, so had to use him as a practice guy.
There you go.
But other
Yeah.
than that, not a whole lot of new stuff. Just keep him busy. Chasing gophers now.
That would be fun.
Yes.
You trapping them or you shooting them or what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Whatever I can do to get rid of them. Man, they are everywhere.
That's is trying to think. It's not a prairie dog. It's a gopher.
It's kind of like it's a gopher. Like we got pocket gophers and we got ground squirrels, and they burrow everywhere. I just picked up a job at a school. They're tearing up their football field and baseball diamond. So I got to get after them. I'm probably going to poison those with pellets in their tunnels.
Okay.
Um, I've used some of those. They look like a flare gopher killer. Get in their holes, light it up, put it in there, and seal them all up. Um, that takes care of a bunch at one time. But trapping them is it's a slow process.
Yeah.
It's like you gotta be out there every day,
Yeah.
and they'll
Yeah.
come
That
out
would.
and go in your hole and they'll push the trigger on my death clutch. I use a death clutch trap, and it'll push the trigger so it'll never fire. So it's just they're a hassle. It's like a war, and I'll sit there with my pellet gun sometimes if nobody's around and just pop them.
There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We actually have competitions here. We just had one about a month ago. You just go and shoot as many around the state as you can, or within the area, and then people bring them in and do your weighing or counting or whatever they do, and you can win a couple $1,000s on a day
Wow.
shooting these things.
Well, we got coyote contest around here, you know, and I mean, I ran a couple. I'm not. I don't want to say I don't like them, but I'm not keen on because once you get money involved,
Yeah,
there's always somebody trying to cheat, you know. And the sportsman's club I belong to right now, they're going to do in a couple days, I think it is. They're going to have a groundhog contest,
hmm.
you know. And that's a big thing around here. Like all the farmers, farmers, you go ask them if you can shoot groundhogs, they will, with open arms, let you
Yeah,
shoot groundhogs,
yeah,
you know. But it's another thing. You're starting to give out money, and some of them get up there. Some of them
yeah,
contests, you're looking at 10 grand.
yeah,
Guys are winning.
yeah.
Yeah, I had JD Pyatt from Bustin' Fur. I had him on. He does his own uh, electronic calls.
Yeah,
He makes sounds and stuff. And me and him were talking. And he said where he's at in Ohio, he said the same thing. The coyote calling contest. He said they're just everywhere, every weekend. He says, and then the guys that truly enjoy coyote hunting can't go out and kill a coyote now because everybody's educated them.
yeah. It's gonna be a lot harder to get. It's
Yeah,
like my nuisance trap and stuff. People go out there and they get their own traps, and they're trying to catch that thing, and it just messes me up. Then I gotta work extra hard to catch it because
yep,
they're just making it smarter.
yep, yep. Yeah, my neighbor lady, she just told me tonight that she saw a groundhog in the backyard, in her backyard. She said, "I thought you caught them all." Well, they do have little ones, and
Yep,
eventually those little ones grow up and get big, and they move into their own neighborhood. I said,
yep,
"I'll get them." I said, "I'll put a live trap out." But we also got neighborhood cats, so I'll end up catching 10 cats before I catch this groundhog. And I've
yeah,
been using to catch groundhogs a piece of toast with the uh, Dunlop's peanut butter smear that you
mm,
use for coon traps.
yeah,
I just smear a little bit of that peanut butter stuff on there, and these groundhogs can. I mean,
hmm,
within a couple minutes, if the trap's in the right spot, he'll be in it in the
yeah,
morning. You know, and I think last year I caught what 14 right here in the neighborhood, out from underneath people's porches and stuff like that. Because you call the nuisance guy to come do groundhog work, and they won't. Either that, or they're going to charge them, you know, a ridiculous amount of money. Because
yeah,
I forget that one dude. He told me he's making like $50 an animal.
yeah,
You know, I mean, all you're doing is coming and putting the trap out, and you're
yeah,
leaving. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
I'd be like you. I'd be like you. The old people around the neighborhood here. You know what?
yeah,
I'll just do it for free. Don't worry
yeah.
about it. You know.
Yeah, quite often I tell those kind of people, because you got your time into it. When it's local like that, it's no big deal. But
Yeah.
it's like I'll do it for $20. I'll catch
Yep.
a raccoon around the corner for $20, but just because I got to take time to deal with it,
Yeah. Yep.
But
And then my buddies were getting mad at me because I was taking the groundhogs and taking them over to Deerley's and turning them loose. And they're like, "What are you doing? Why are you bringing them over here?" I said, "What? gives me something to practice all summer with the 22 250.
Yeah.
Like restocking. That's all. Well,
Yeah.
buddy, we're hitting about that hour.
Yeah.
If you want to let everybody know where they can find you and how they can get your stuff,
Yeah. Just head over to the website, www.traplinebeardoil.com, and get everything you need there.
and
And
you can
there's a
follow them on
there's a
Facebook.
code there from Keystone.
Yeah,
So you can save, what is it, 15% off?
I think that's what you said, 15%.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
You're on Facebook.
Yeah. I don't know how you find it. It's out there.
Trapline Beard Oil on Facebook. I
Yeah.
think it's on
Just look.
Instagram. Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I don't do with it too much, but yeah, it's out there. That might just be like Trapline Beard, I think, on Instagram.
Yeah. So look them up on there. Follow along with him. Pay attention because he, you know, he does giveaways.
Yeah.
A lot of giveaways. So if you follow him, you become a loyal follower.
Yeah.
To get in on giveaways. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll work something out. We can do one through the Keystone Experience. We'll see what we can
Yeah,
do.
get out on the website. My website, you can become a member. Doesn't
Yep.
cost nothing, but that's how I'm starting to run my giveaways, because it's just, when you do it on Facebook, it's such a hassle. So I just tell people, okay, if you're a member, I'm going to do this on whatever day.
Yeah, the giveaways on Facebook bring out all the professional
Yeah.
giveaway people.
Yep.
I mean,
So
I got more followers the one giveaway I did, and ain't never heard nothing from them people again. You know,
yeah.
they ain't never liked a single thing or anything like that. So
Yep. So you got to be a member or subscribe it on my website, and it don't cost nothing. It's just, and I send out discount codes on there too. So
yep, yep. So stick around, brother. We're gonna do some sponsors, and then we'll call this an episode.
sounds good.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Keystone Experience. Check out these fine sponsors that make this podcast possible. Apparition Scent, Chico Outdoors Incorporated, Back 40 Seed Company, Gearhead Archery, Forget Genetics, Trapline Beard Oil Company, Weeby Knives, Wrecked Broadheads, Coon Creek Trappers, Wilson's Wildlife Solutions Baits and Lures, Redline Bow Hunting, Rack and Stick, Scout Tech, XL Construction and Renovation LLC, Warhead Aero Company, Freaky Frank Custom Tackles, Black River Shot Company, Coyote Cords, Rocco Family Farm, Steve Rocco Media, Bustin' Fur Audio. Watch us on Carbon TV. Listen to us every Wednesday on the Outdoor Call Radio. Follow along on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out all our apparel on unityprinting.com/TKE. Get the custom hats at thehatshack.com, the Keystone Experience Collection. Thanks for listening, and remember, never apologize for being a hunter.